What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm LotusAsakura, the one who never knows best, and today I'm finally, after all this time, getting around to bring you guys the manga collection video. You've been requesting it over and over again for quite some time because you guys know in the background of all my videos you see the shelves and the sneakers, and I know you guys want a sneaker collection video too, and that is on the way, so stay tuned. But yeah, not only have you guys been requesting this, I actually set it as a goal on my stream a couple months back to make this video. And just out of whether laziness or procrastination, I just haven't gotten around to it. But today is finally the day I showcase to you my collection of somewhere around 500-ish volumes. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. I'll probably do a quick count after I actually record this video, and it'll be in the title, whatever. But yeah, the collection has grown to quite the size over these last few years. I've been collecting since like 2015, I guess. And this is what it looks like after all those years. So without further ado, let's get into the collection. I'm gonna try my best to not say too much about each series individually, because when you have this much, you you can very easily just end up here for an hour or two just talking about manga, which is fun, but I don't want this video to be that long. So that said, starting things off, we have volumes 1 through 7 of Akame ga Kill, a series I like enough to keep collecting, but just never got more of it. The anime is okay, not the best, not the worst, but I like it well enough. I'll probably finish it someday, just haven't gotten around to that yet. Then we have Bleach 1 through 24. This is all Soul Society plus 3 volumes of Arrancar. On the Shonen Jump app on my phone, I've read up to the 1000-Year Blood War of Bleach. I haven't finished it yet. I just want to take a moment to say that the Arrancar arc is better than Soul Society, and I will die on that hill. I don't care, I said what I said. Moving on, we also have volumes 1 and 2, and then 3 through 7 of Boruto. You all know about Boruto, whether you love it or hate it, you know what it is. I don't need to talk about it. Then we have volumes 1 through 10 of Buso Rankin. This is actually a series that was written and illustrated by Nobuhiro Watsuki, which is the same creator who made Rurouni Kenshin. And while this isn't anywhere near as good as Rurouni Kenshin, I liked it well enough, I guess. It's okay, it's nothing too crazy, but you know, the ending felt a little bit rushed, but up to that point, it was pretty solid. Moving on, we also have volumes 1 through 13, complete of Dead Man Wonderland, one of my own personal favorites, probably still a series that's in my top 10. Yeah, those two characters right there, man. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And I love Jintei Kataoka's artwork. Story, the characters and art in this are great. It's pretty edgy, it's not for everybody, so I can understand why a lot of people don't hold this in as high of a regard as I do, but to each their own. Moving on, we also got volumes 1 through 7 and 8 through 12 of Death Note. Obviously, we all know about Death Note. That's a complete series, and I have the 13 How to Read volume, but it's actually in the box set because I do own the box set for the series. Then we have volumes 1 and 2 of Dr.Stone. Dr.Stone, one of the newer titles currently running in Shonen Jump. I say newer, but it's been running for a couple of years now, I think. Yeah, I like it well enough. I'll probably collect more of it at some point, but it's just not a high priority series for me right now, so I've only got the first 2 volumes. But I do like it. I like the anime, I like the manga, and I'll probably keep reading it. Then we have 1 through 16 of Dragon Ball, 1 through 12, and then 13 through 26 of Dragon Ball Z, and 1 through 8 of Super. Everybody and their mom knows about Dragon Ball, and I'm not gonna talk about that one too much. But yeah, long-time favorite, been reading and watching it since I was a kid, so of course I've got all of it. Moving on, we got 1 through 12, and then 13 through 17 of Fire Force. I just recently said my piece on what I think about Fire Force and how I like the series and whatnot in my recent manga haul video, which if you haven't seen that, it'll probably be linked in the description or in the comments or something like that. So feel free to go ahead and check that out, and I'll probably leave it as a card at the end of this video as well. Then we've also got volumes 1 and 2 of Fooly Cooly. Now, if you know me, you know that Fooly Cooly is my favorite anime of all time. I also love Fooly Cooly seasons 2 and 3, progressive and alternative. I'm a huge Fooly Cooly stan, a huge Fooly Cooly fanboy. So trust me when I tell you, this is trash. This is only worthwhile, this is only worth reading, this is only worth owning as a Fooly Cooly stan. If you ain't a huge Fooly Cooly fan, don't waste your time with this. I have it because I am a Fooly Cooly fan, but I ain't recommending it to nobody. I ain't gonna hold you. We also got volume 1 of Food Wars. Food Wars is a series I was gonna start collecting after watching the first 2 seasons of the anime, because I'm like, dang, this is great. I love this series a lot. And I was like, yeah, I'm probably gonna love the manga a lot. Unfortunately, from what I hear, the manga ended up deteriorating in quality quite a bit towards the end, and then it eventually got canceled. So I don't really know what the whole deal is with that. I don't know if I actually want to read it and collect it myself, or if I'll just get rid of this volume and never collect it. I don't really know. I guess I won't really know until I experience it for myself, but I haven't heard good things about the tail end of this story, so we'll see. Moving on, we also have volumes 1 through 27, which is the entirety of Full Metal Alchemist, as well as the Ties That Bind light novel, which came with the box set, which is how I acquired all these volumes. Full Metal Alchemist, hailed as one of the greatest series of all time. I think it is incredible. I like it quite a bit. Not one of my own personal favorites, and I know everybody has a heart attack every time I say that, but I do like Full Metal Alchemist a lot. It's an incredible story with some of the greatest characters I've read, or some of the greatest characters I've seen in any manga that I've read. It's just not one of my own personal favorites, but it is great. Also, shout out, where is she? Yeah, that's a baby girl, Major General Armstrong. You dig what I'm saying? Tight, you know what I mean? Anyway, moving on, we also have volumes 1 through 7 of High School of the Dead, and that's all there exists of High School of the Dead. Rest in peace to Daisuke Sato, the writer behind the story. Recently passed away a couple of years ago, and so with that being said, we'll obviously never get more of the manga and more of the anime either. You guys know that this is one of my favorite anime of all time, and it's a series that was supposed to get a season 2. It never really did because the manga went on hiatus for numerous reasons on multiple occasions. And then, as I said before, Daisuke Sato passed, so we'll never get more content. There's a little bit more content in the manga than there is in the anime, so I could see potentially, probably won't ever happen, but I could see if they want to do like another OVA or two that adapts with some material. I don't think that'll ever happen, but if that were to happen, that's cool. Other than that, I say don't touch it. Don't do anything anime original. Don't try to find another writer or anything like that, which I don't think they ever will. that's just my thoughts on it, but yeah. Moving on, we have the entire series of Hikaru no Go, volumes 1 through 23, and this is a series about a board game called Go, which I knew nothing about and didn't necessarily have any interest in itself, but this is an incredible story that I enjoyed quite a bit. Also, it's illustrated by Takeshi Obata, which is, the same illustrator who worked on Death Note and numerous other series that I have in this collection. But yeah, this is a lot more hype than you would expect. Like, this is a really exciting read, and I highly recommend it to anybody. Like, I guess you could consider it sports, even though it's a board game, but yeah, like, listen, I know it doesn't sound exciting, you're talking about a board game, but bro, listen, it's gas, trust and believe. I wouldn't put y'all on no trash. Or maybe I would, because everything I read is trash. I don't know. And moving on, we have volumes 1 through 4 of Living Stone. That is the entirety of Living Stone. This is also illustrated by Jinza Kataoka, who is the same illustrator who did Dead Man Wonderland. And that's what originally got me interested in this series, and I ended up enjoying it quite a bit. It's more of a supernatural kind of, not really necessarily mystery or thriller per se, but something that is a little bit more philosophical and makes you think a bit more than I don't know, Fire Force or Bleach or something. Not to say that those series don't have some deeper moments in their own right, but this isn't like some meathead battle action adventure series. It's a lot more tame than that. I liked it quite a bit. I talked about it in my recent manga haul video, so if it interests you, you can go ahead and check out what I had to say about it in that video. Then moving on, we have My Hero Academia volumes 1 through 23, so that is up to date. I enjoy My Hero Academia quite a bit for what it is. I don't think it's anything particularly unique or original. It's not one of my all-time favorites or anything, but I think that it does everything that it sets out to do pretty well, and I think it executes well on the Shonen Jump formula. It's a very clearly studied series, like that guy over there and that guy up there, and it knows what it's doing. Bless Horikoshi, and may the universe protect him in these tough times where the internet seems to think that he's this horrible person, because I've never seen any fan base hate more on their creator than My Hero fans, but we ain't gonna get into that right now. Moving on, we have volumes 1 through 12 of Naruto. You can see I have 2 copies of volume 1, and then 13 through 27, 28 through 46. And then moving along up here, we have 47 through 72 with 2 copies of volume 72. So I have every single volume of Naruto. I am a longtime Naruto fan. I have been since I was a kid. I read the manga for over 10 years. Naruto is one of my favorite series of all time. It's far from perfect, but it's one of those things where it stuck with me since I was a child. I grew up with it, and so it was always going to end up being one of my favorites. And if you're wondering why I have 2 copies of volume 72 and 2 copies of volume 1, it's because when I got into collecting manga, Naruto was one of the first manga I bought, as you might expect. So I bought volume 1. And then it wasn't that long after I got into collecting that volume 72 actually came out, because I didn't really start collecting manga until like 2015, I guess. And Naruto ended in 2014, so we got 72 around like 2015. So I bought 72 when it came out, but then when I decided, yeah, I'm actually gonna buy the entire series, I ended up getting the box sets for the series. So I have all 3 of the Naruto box sets. So I have every single volume, but that obviously means that I get an extra volume of 1 and 72, so that's why those are there. But yeah. Then moving on, we also have Naruto the Seventh Hokage and the Scarlet Spring, which is like the bonus spin-off, side manga, whatever you want to call it, that came after this series. Then we've also got the Itachi Story Daylight and Midnight light novels, which are actual like books and don't have a whole lot of pictures in them. But I will read these, and I'm sure I'll enjoy these anyway because Itachi is my favorite character. I'm a huge fanboy for him, so anything that involves him, I'm probably gonna like. Then moving on, we've also got volumes 1 through 4, and then 5 through 12 of One Punch Man. We all know about One Punch Man, and I guess I should probably move these guys out of the way, huh? So let me just move, but real quick, I'll just show them, I guess. I have these these factory sealed copies of all the Shaman King Game Boy games because I'm obviously a huge Shaman King fan, as you might have been able to tell from my last name, Asakura. Named myself after this guy for a reason, but yeah. Legacy of the Spirits, Soaring Hawk, Sprinting Wolf, Master of Spirits 1, and Master of Spirits 2. I was on this little kick where I was collecting like sealed copies of Game Boy games, and these probably aren't the last ones that I'll collect because there's more things that I want. But as a big Shaman King fan, I wanted those. But yeah, 1 through 12 of One Punch Man. I'm several volumes behind on this series, but it's pretty great. I always enjoy it whenever I do read it, even though I am behind. I definitely need to catch up at some point, but it's just not a high priority series for me, despite enjoying it every time I read it. Then moving on, we also have 1 through 10 of Platinum End, which I believe is up to date, and these covers are beautiful, but it to this day, it still bothers me that the first 2 volumes, the first 2 spines, they are the same, right? And then it starts changing into all these like different colors and stuff, and these are so sick. I mean, you can probably see it on camera. They have like this prism effect. They're really dope. I mean, the artwork is beautiful on all these. Like, I love these volumes, right? But if every single volume had been just this white color, that would have been fine. Or if every single volume was a different color, that would have been fine. But it bugs me so much that the first 2 are the same color, and then they start changing it up. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it, but whatever. Just so I mean, it's also not helped by the fact that Viz Media feels the need to keep changing their logo and you know, ruining the continuity of these spines. But I digress. Whatever. This little manga collector nitpick. I'm sure all my fellow manga collectors can relate to me on some level when it comes to that. Moving on, we've also got volumes 1 through 14 of Pokemon Adventures, 1 through 7 being the Red and Blue arc, and then 8 through 14 being the Gold and Silver arc. I haven't read the Gold and Silver arc yet. I just recently picked this up in my latest video as well, my latest manga haul video. But I have read 1 through 7, and I think the Pokemon Adventures manga is actually really, really good and really enjoyable, and I like it probably even more than I prefer watching the original Pokemon anime. So if you're a Pokemon fan, I definitely recommend checking it out. It's pretty good. Like I said, I haven't read this part yet, but I'm sure I'll love it because Gen 2 is my favorite generation. So looking forward to that when I do get around to it. Moving on, we've also got Blue Dragon Ralgrad, a 4-volume series that is also illustrated by Takeshi Obata and written by Tsuneo Takano, who I'm not familiar with outside of this series, but again, Takeshi Obata, Hikaru no Go, Death Note, a few other series as well. And it's alright, nothing too crazy, nothing that I would really recommend, like, but you can probably find it super cheap. Like, I think I only paid like $20 for all 4 of these volumes, so like $5 a piece. So I mean, at that price, I guess it's worth the read, but don't go into it expecting anything too crazy. Main character is a pervert, so keep that in mind going into it. And it's just nothing special. It's just a very average series. It's something that I only even bought because it was so cheap and because it was illustrated by Takeshi Obata, and I'm just a huge fan of him and his work. Moving on, we've also got Rurouni Kenshin, volumes 1 through 28, and that is the entire series that is complete. And for a while, I had some mixed feelings on this because this was originally my favorite manga of all time, and I've come to the conclusion that this is still my favorite manga of all time. Also, I just realized my shelves are dusty. I should probably break out the old Swiffer and get on that. But anyway, yeah, this was, and I consider now it's to still be my favorite manga of all time. But if you know about the controversy with Nobuhiro Watsuki, you know he's a scumbag, and it's kind of hard to support him. But I decided that I cannot pretend like this isn't the greatest manga of all time to me. Like, I just can't do that. This series is too good for me to pretend like I don't like it, right? But what I can do is choose to not support Nobuhiro Watsuki in any future endeavors and not consume any more content past what I've already consumed, so that being Buso Rankin and Rurouni Kenshin. If you're somebody who has a problem with Watsuki, then I understand. And if you don't want to read this because of that, or you don't want to enjoy this or support it because of that, I understand. I can't pretend like this isn't the greatest manga I've ever read to me, because it is. This is a true masterpiece in my opinion. This is an incredible story with incredible characters and incredible artwork. Some of the best fights I've ever seen, some of the best fights I've ever read, and I can't fake it. I really can't. But I can choose to not support him any further. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I ain't gonna get into it here. I'm sure somebody will say it in the comments, and you're free to discuss that. But yeah, y'all know the deal. This is an incredible story. Watsuki is an incredibly bad person. And then over here we have a LotusAsakura Shaman King figure with a little Amidamaru in his hand. I know if I move this, Amidamaru's probably gonna fall out because I don't think I put him in there very well, but okay, we're cool. I don't have to move him that far. We've also got volumes 1 and 2 of Samurai Champloo. This, much like Fooly Cooly, if I didn't mention it, is a manga that came after the anime. So it's pretty different from the anime, and it's not bad, but the anime is definitely a lot better. Again, this is something that I kind of just bought because it's only 2 volumes and it's really cheap, and I like Samurai Champloo quite a bit, but it's not necessarily something I would recommend. I don't really think you're missing out on anything if you don't buy it or read it. So I mean, I ain't telling you not to, but I ain't telling you to do it either. All right, hold up, let me just move this tripod behind me out of the way real quick. All right, and down here we have volumes 1 through 7 of Seraph of the End, and yes, I did put 1 through 3 here, and then 4 through 7 up here just so I could fit all of the greatness that is the 32 volumes of Shaman King on the same shelf. But real quick, Seraph of the End is a series that I found out about some years ago because of just all the gifs and screenshots and images I would see online of the anime. And I was like, dang, I don't know what that series is, but it looks really sick. And then one year, Right Stuff had a bundle deal where you got 7 volumes for $40 or something like that. So I picked it up, read it, liked it, watched both seasons of the anime, liked it. It's not incredible, but it's just okay. It's good enough for me to continue enjoying it. But I just never picked up more. Just, again, not a series that's a high priority for me, so I just didn't stay on top of it. But I'll probably collect more of it at some point, read it at some point. I'm sure I'll still enjoy it unless things have drastically changed. But yeah, then we have 1 through 32 of Shaman King. I mean, you see the figure, you see my name, you see these games, bars. Yeah, Shaman King is one of my all-time favorite series. There's a reason I'm named Asakura. There's a reason there's this figure here. There's a reason those games are there. And I mean, I don't even know where to start. This is one of those series where if I take too much time, I'll just spend half the video talking about it. But just know that this is a series that to me deserves to be talked about in the same conversation as a Yu Yu Hakusho or Dragon Ball or Naruto or Bleach, even though the series is a little bit younger than those because it came out the early 2000s. And the impact it had really isn't on the level of those. I feel like in terms of the quality of the series, it deserves to be up there. But that's just me personally, and of course I'd be biased, but LotusAsakura is one of the coolest, just most amazing main characters of any series ever. I love the abilities in this. It's kind of similar to Stan's in a sense, because I know that's what all the JoJo fans would say if they ever read it. But I personally think they're cooler than Stan's. I just think this series is better than JoJo personally, and I know I just started a war with that statement. But I don't know. I compared it to JoJo just because I feel like it's similar in some ways. This is clearly influenced or inspired by it a little bit, but it's definitely its own unique story. It's original. It's not like a clone or a ripoff or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, I love this series a lot, and I have all 32 volumes of it. Anyway, moving on. We also have volumes 1 through 31 of Slam Dunk. Let me just get this Nintendo Switch out of the way real quick. Volumes 1 through 31 of Slam Dunk. That is the entire series that is complete, and is one of the few series that Takehiko Inoue, the legend that he is, has actually completed, as far as I'm aware. And this manga right here is actually my second favorite manga of all time. And I'm not kidding, I'm not lying, I'm not exaggerating when I say that reading this manga got me more hype at moments than I've ever been while watching real life basketball. And I know that sounds outlandish, I know that sounds mad nerdy, I know that sounds impossible, but I'm not kidding. There were legitimate moments where I'm sitting here reading this and I'm jumping out of my seat yo, let's go Rukawa, you know what I'm saying? I was getting mad hype reading this story. And for a short while, when I was having that internal crisis with Rurouni Kenshin over here, I was like, damn, is Slam Dunk my favorite manga of all time? And it's right there. It's right there. But I gotta give this one second place, but it is incredible. And I know not everybody loves sports manga, and more so, not everybody loves basketball manga, but to me, this is one of the greatest series of all time. It's one of the best-selling series of all time for a reason, and it deserves all the hype that it gets, because it lived up to everything I ever heard about it, and then some. Moving on, we have volumes 1 through 5, and then 6 through 17 of Twin Star Exorcist, and that is up to date. Twin Star Exorcist is probably my favorite ongoing manga right now, and it's a lot like My Hero Academia in the sense where it's not the most unique or the most original. It just has clearly studied the genres that it is in, and it knows what it's doing, and it's doing it really well. Although personally, I prefer this to My Hero, but that's just me. But yeah, it's just a really well-rounded, action adventure battle shonen series that I think a lot of people would enjoy if they gave it a chance. The manga is really, really, really different from the anime. They're not the same story at all. They're just 2 different stories with the same characters. And even then, you've got some characters that that aren't anyway just aren't the same. But yeah, Twin Sexes is one of my favorites, probably going to be in my top 10 when all is said and done. And yeah, check it out if you haven't given it a chance already. We've also got this sealed copy of the Spirit Detective Yu Yu Hakusho game on Game Boy, because yeah, let me just get that out of the way though real quick. We've also got this Viz manga sampler from 2019. I got this at Anime Expo last year, and it's just got like a sample chapter from each of these 7 series. So you have Beastars, which I know has gotten really popular lately. JoJo Part 4, everybody knows about JoJo. Kakurio Bed and Breakfast for Spirits. Komi Can't Communicate, which is an adorable series that I should read more of. My Hero Academia Smash, one of the million MHA spin-offs that exist now. Snow White with the Red Hair, and Urusei Yatsura. You know what I'm saying? Now, can I get this back into position without... Yeah, there we go. Alright, cool. Now, we've also got volumes 1 through 8 of We Never Learn, and this is up to date, I believe. And We Never Learn has sealed its fate as one of my top 10 favorite series of all time. It's a, you know, a harem, rom-com, slightly ecchi type slice of life series that has become my new favorite series for all of those genres. Like, this is my new favorite rom-com, this is my new favorite harem, this is great. This is everything I ever wanted from that genre. I think it's hilarious. I love the characters. The artwork by Taishi Tsutsui is great. I mean, it's got everything I would want out of that genre, and I enjoyed it from start to finish. I would say that it's like canonically, technically over, but there are like some chapters still ongoing where the mangaka is actually showcasing what it would be like if the main character ended up with any of the girls. Even though like, so one girl has already been chosen, I would say, but now there's like chapters that are showing what the other alternatives would have been. And I think that's really cool, personally. So I will definitely be picking up every single volume of this as it releases. And yeah, like I said, it's one of my new personal favorites, so I like it quite a bit. And speaking of personal favorites, we've also got Your Lie in April, a series that means a lot to me, a manga that I enjoyed a lot, an anime that I enjoyed even more. This is probably one of those rare cases where I would say I like the anime even more than the manga, because this is a music-based manga, as you might have been able to tell if you didn't already know. And while I enjoy the manga a lot, obviously this is one of those series where the music adds so much to it, and it does, you know, kind of amplify exponentially what you feel and what you experience with this series. But Your Lie in April, the anime, is actually what finally motivated me to go out and buy a piano and start teaching myself how to play some years ago. And while I haven't been the most studious and the most dedicated in that endeavor and haven't kept up with it a whole lot, it just goes to show just like the power and like the impact that it had on me, because I literally went out the day after watching the anime and bought like $130 keyboard or whatever, and was like, yeah, I'm gonna start teaching myself to play piano, because it's something I always wanted to do, but this is what motivated me to finally do it. So yeah, 1 through 11, that is a complete series, a beautiful, beautiful story. One of the stories that I would be willing to call a masterpiece, and I loved every second of it. I love the manga as well. And funny story about this, it took me a long time to finally collect the entire series, but when I finally did, I got volume 11 around the same time The Weeknd dropped his My Dear Melancholy album. And I listened to that album on repeat while reading this story at like 3 in the morning, and that was one of the best and worst decisions I've ever made, but I don't regret any of it. It was fantastic. But yeah, moving on, we've also got volumes 1 through 19 of Yu Yu Hakusho. That is complete, and this is one of the greatest series of all time, one of my all-time favorites, easily a top 10 manga, my second favorite anime of all time, so you know I got the Blu-rays over there. But yeah, Yusuke, one of the most badass MCs ever. Him and Yo are probably my 2 favorite main characters of all time. I would probably throw Kenshin up there too. Yeah, it's like a 3-way tie between those characters, and listen, if you don't know about Hakusho, you need to know about Hakusho. This series it's one of the classics, it's one of the greats for a reason. To me, it's probably the best, like, other than Kenshin, like the best like battle shonen there is. Like, I really think this is like peak Shonen Jump, personally. But that's just me, that's just my bias. I truly believe this is one of the greatest series of all time that everybody should read or watch at some point. And of course, I've got all 4 seasons of the anime on Blu-ray, and I might as well show the rest of these as well. We've got season 1 of Fully Coolly, and then Progressive and Alternative, season 2 and 3. A few Shinkai movies, so 5 centimeters per second, Your Name, and then my own personal favorite, The Garden of Words. Angel Beats, No Game, No Life, which I don't really know why I own, because I doubt I'm ever going to rewatch No Game, No Life, because I enjoyed it when I watched it, but looking back, there's some things about it that I don't really get down with, so I don't know. Then we've got High School of the Dead and the Drifted of the Dead OVA. High School of the Dead, one of my personal favorite anime, but Drifted of the Dead, while I can't say I didn't like it, I mean, this is definitely, that's just fan service. You just watching that for some titty, which ain't nothing wrong with that, but you know what I'm saying? I can't sit here and justify Drifters of the Dead as a good OVA the same way I can sit here and justify High School of the Dead as a good anime, but you know what I'm saying, I ain't gonna pretend I don't like it. And we have Akira, again, classic film. Everybody who's an anime fan has probably seen this and probably owns this. The Dragon Ball Super Broly movie, Deadman Wonderland, which I do enjoy quite a bit, but not as much as the manga. And this anime is the reason why I ended up buying the manga, because I ended up watching this on Netflix some years ago. It's like 12 episodes, right? Except there's a 13th episode that's actually the OVA. And the OVA is like a flashback or something. It really confused me. So then I ended up looking it up. I found out there's a manga, and I ended up buying the manga. Found out that the manga is 13 volumes. The anime stops at volume 5, so it explains why I was so confused at the end, because there's so much left to the story. But anyway, yeah, good anime. But if you're really into this, if you're really into it and you really want to check it out, just read the manga. And then we have the steelbook for the first 3 volumes, or not the first 3 volumes, the first 3 Pokemon movies, which I enjoyed a lot as a kid, especially. This one. The third one's probably my favorite. And then for some reason up here I have Digimon World 3, Tekken 3, and Tekken 2. And we got a few more volumes down here, actually. I almost forgot. A Girl on the Shore by Inio Asano. Solanin by Inio Asano. And then All You Need Is Kill by a bunch of people. So Hiroshi Sakurazaka, Ryosuke Takeuchi, Yoshitabi Abe, and Takeshi Obata. Again, Blue Dragon Ralgrad, Platinum N, Hikaru no Go, and Death Note way over there. But yeah, this story, it is good, but there is some explicit content between some younger characters that might make some people feel very uncomfortable and uneasy, and I get that. So I would not recommend this to most people, just because I think it wouldn't sit well with some people, despite the story being good and the events that occur in it are necessary to the plot and the characters. But I can see why some people would take issue with this. This, however, is something I would recommend to everybody, especially people between the ages of like 18 to your mid-20s or whatever, because I just feel like a lot of people can really relate to this. It's just a slice of life story about some college graduates who are kind of just like finding out what they want to do or where they want to go in life, and figuring out, you know, just thinking about, you know, is the job I'm at it for me, or is there something greater for me? And it's just really relatable. It's just really, really relatable, something that really hit home for me when I got out of high school. And I just think that most people in like that age range should read this, because they could relate to it and maybe get something from it, and I enjoy it quite a bit. And then All You Need Is Kill, story about a guy stuck in a time loop type bit, you feel me? And illustrated by Takeshi Obata. Incredible artwork, great story, liked it quite a bit. And then we've got 3 seasons of Dragon Ball and the complete series of Dragon Ball GT. Don't ask me why I don't have seasons 1 and 2 of Dragon Ball, but I'll get those eventually. But yeah, that is my entire manga collection, I think. Whew. And there you have it. 5 years, thousands of dollars, and 503 volumes later, you have my manga collection. That video took a bit longer than I was hoping, but hopefully you guys did enjoy. You know me, I like to talk a lot when it comes to anime and manga. I'm just so passionate. I just love it so much, I just can't help but ramble on. But yeah, I'm glad I finally knocked out this video. Hopefully you guys do enjoy it. And I don't know when the next time I'll do one of these collection videos, but it probably won't be for some time, so hopefully this one holds you guys over. But I think that's it, so let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, so stay tuned for all the awesome content I'm gonna bring you. And with all that being said, that's pretty much all I have today. And remember, nothing can happen to you from the bad. Later.